Hey guys, Youngblood with you, and I want to propose to you another versus scenario today. Now, in the last video, we did the 325 versus the Avenger, and overall it felt like a pretty stale comparison, primarily just because I think almost everybody kind of felt the same way, and especially since we were kind of looking at just the stock loadouts in general. But either way, it was a good way to kind of get our creative juices flowing. Now, let's get a little bit more open-minded with our scenario this time. And Gaming RG37 actually suggested what my very next one was going to be anyways, so let's go ahead and get to it, and that's going to be the Gladius versus the Hornet. Now, I think this is going to be a really interesting exercise in theory crafting because, really, a couple reasons. One is that while they're both very combat focused, they both go about this in really different ways. You know, one's a light fighter, which should be fast and agile, while the other one is heavily armored and has the option for a lot of different guns. One we have flight tested and combat experience with, while the other one is just a nice piece of hanger art at the moment. You know, and I guess the final one is we're not going to do stock loadouts this time. You know, you can kind of choose the loadouts that you think are going to be best for both ships. That being said, though, we do need to put some limitations on this just for this particular scenario, you know, or maybe we'll call them expectations. You know, so first off, we're going to need to say that we're using the base Hornet model, not the two-man Super Hornet. And I think just we're going to do that because things get a little bit cloudy if we're saying it's there's two set of eyes versus one. You know, with that in mind, though, you know, feel free to put the ball turret on it and the canard turret for all I care. Just make sure that base model is actually going to be the F7C, you know, for this particular scenario. Also, try not to get too crazy with your balance. You know, for example, don't give the Hornet only neutron cannons on the nose and then say the Gladius is going to end up winning with maxed out weaponry. You know, try to make it realistic and give both a reasonable chance of winning. I'm not saying, you know, gimp one or the other and increase the other just to put them on par. If you feel one is a better ship than the other, explain it. But, you know, just don't intentionally gimp or really overpower one and leave the other one in the dust. It should be a fair fight, at least. So here we go. The scenario is a Gladius versus a Hornet, one-on-one in a fight to the death in Arena Commander on the map Dying Star. You know, so I think we should again assume equal skill level here, just to make sure that we're testing all aspects of the battle. And, you know, try to put down in your comments, you know, tactics that both would use, the loadouts that they're going to be carrying, and who would win, and most importantly, why. Now, I kind of have an idea of which way I'm leaning here, but I really could be easily swayed with some good arguments. You know, I'm interested to see how this one's going to turn out because it really could go several different ways. Like last time, I'm going to let this ride for, you know, a little while, and I'll probably put up my conclusion video early next week. And just as a teaser, as we look forward to more of these in the future, I've already figured out what the next one's going to be, and it's probably going to go ahead and be our first non-combat scenario. So if more clarification is needed, or maybe I've just missed something, please go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll add some clarification if that ends up being needed. Otherwise, happy theory crafting, and I look forward to seeing what kind of crazy scenarios you guys come up with. So stay tuned for more. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and take care.